Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of the organizers, I would like to welcome all of you to the webinar, Revival Under the New Normalcy, Hong Kong-Vietnam Partnership. May I introduce myself? My name is Melody Kwan, and I will be your MC for today. The webinar today is organized by the Commerce and Economic Development Bureau of the Government of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region and the Ministry of Industry and Trade of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. It is our privilege to also have the following parties co-organizing the event. They are the Consulate General of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam in the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office in Singapore, the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, and the Federation of Hong Kong Industries. Today's event is also supported by the Hong Kong-Vietnam Chamber of Commerce. Before we get started, I would like to remind participants of the following points. First, this webinar will be conducted in English and will last for around 1 hour and a half. The microphones and video for the audience will be muted at all times. If you wish to ask questions, please submit your question together with your email address by using the Q&A function. While you may submit your questions anytime during the webinar, they will only be answered during the Q&A session. We may not be able to address all questions during the Q&A session. Unanswered questions relevant to the topic of discussion today will be replied individually via email after the webinar. The chat function will be disabled throughout the webinar. Now, I would like to introduce today's program. We will start with the welcome remarks by Mr. Edward Yao, the Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development of the Government of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. This will then be followed by the responding remarks by Mr. Tran Quoc Hang, Deputy Minister, Ministry of Industry and Trade of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Next, we will have a panel discussion on Joining Hands for Economic Recovery with Commissioner for Belt and Road, Dr. Dennis Yip, is our moderator. We are delighted to have leading figures from both Hong Kong and Vietnam across different industries joining our panel today, including from the Federation of Hong Kong Industries, Sunhua Group, Smart City Consortium, the Hong Kong Trade Development Council, the Vietnam Trade Promotion Agency and the Industry Agency, and Hanoi Trade JS Corporation, HAPRO. After the panel discussion, we will take a few questions from the audience. Lastly, we will invite Secretary Yao and Mr. Phan Binh Dam, Consul General of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam in the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, to deliver the closing remarks. Without further ado, may I invite Mr. Edward Yao, the Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region Government, to address the audience. Secretary Yao, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Minister Tran, my good friend, in the afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Yao. His Excellency, Mr. Tran Quoc Hang, Deputy Minister of Industry and Trade of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, will now deliver his responding remarks. Minister Tran Quoc Hang, please.
Thank you. Excellency, Mr. Edward Yao.
Thank you, Minister Tran Quoc Hang. Now we will move on to the panel discussion session. I would like to first introduce the moderator today, Dr. Dennis Yip, the Commissioner for Belt and Road of the Commissioner for Belt and Road of the Government of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. Besides, we are honored to have 4 panelists from Hong Kong and 3 panelists from Vietnam. They are all high-level government officials and top industry leaders with expertise on a wide range of areas and business experience in Hong Kong, Vietnam, and beyond. Commissioner Yip and our expert panelists will share their insights under the theme of Joining Hands for Economic Recovery. Now, may I hand over to the moderator. Commissioner Yip, please.
Good afternoon, everyone, and addressing corresponding livelihood needs under the new normalcy. Our panelists today will share about 3 to 5 minutes on their area of expertise, and they will be having... Let me pass back the floor to the moderator before the Q&A session. Melody, please.
Thank you, Commissioner Yip, and all the panelists for the insightful discussion. Thank you very much. Despite the pandemic, it is clear that there remains ample room for Hong Kong and Vietnam to deepen our trade and economic partnership, as well as our people-to-people bond. Now we will turn to the Q&A session. I'm sure that our audience will be very eager to learn even more from the speakers today, and we have already received some questions. Commissioner Yip will moderate this Q&A session and direct questions for the speakers and panelists to answer. May I now hand over to Commissioner Yip, please.
Thank you, Melody. And actually, I was looking at this iPad, and we have 6 questions. Thank you, Ms. An. Unfortunately, I have a few more questions, but no more time. So let me pass my floor back to Melody.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, for our audience active participation at the Q&A session. Before the event draws to a close, may I invite Secretary Yao and Consul General Mr. Phan Bin Dam to say a few words. Secretary Yao, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, it has been quite interesting, and thank all the speakers for joining us. And also, I believe there could be a lot of opportunity for us to work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Yao. May I now invite Consul General Mr. Phan Bin Dam. Please, Consul General, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Secretary Edward Yao, Vice Minister Chen Kuo-khang, ladies and gentlemen, for Hong Kong, for Vietnamese, for Chitubay, and for the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Consul General. Ladies and gentlemen, the webinar has now come to an end. For Vietnamese companies which are keen to set up a presence in Hong Kong and the Greater Bay Area, you are welcome to approach the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office in Singapore. We hope that it has been a fruitful event for everyone. Thank you again to all the distinguished guests and speakers for their insights, and all the participants for joining us today. Thank you and goodbye.